Hello everyone, it's Elizabeth again. I'm over here in my art loft where I've been having a couple of fun days doing some jelly prints. This one I started with using a black, well actually it's not black, it's a dark blue, and I used this weird mesh that I think is supposed to be Christmas ribbon. It's about 2 foot wide, and I cut off a piece of it. The only thing of it, it doesn't want to uncurl, so it's a real pain to use. But when you have your paper down there like this, then you lay your mesh down on your, well, you lay it on your jelly plate, and you have your black or gray paint on it. And in this case, I laid that down, and then I laid this scrapbooking paper, which has the numbers on it, and I laid that down on top of it, and then did a print from it. And I took up the stuff that was between the numbers with this piece of tracing paper. The tracing paper is 25-pound tracing paper from Hobby Lobby, and I don't know if you can see it. I think you can see it. It already had a little bit of the gold and green on it, but the dots are from the in between the mesh, so that was what was picked up for that. And then of course it's got kind of a ghosty numbers, because the numbers were on top of the mesh when they were on top of the jelly plate like that. So when I did that, then you know, it wasn't getting up against the numbers to pick up all of that exactly. That looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Anyway, that's a tracing paper that I did with it. And then after I took the tracing paper off, I just took up what was left on the plate with some gold. I used the gold to bring up the rest of the ink that was on the plate. And you can see here, can you see that? Well, maybe not. But it actually shows the mesh. The mesh is actually not a single strand at each one of those, it's a double strand. So I don't know if you can see that or not. But it's really an interesting print because you've got a lot of texture. You can feel the nubbiness of the paint, and you can see the detail of the little mesh on the print. So I think that's a really cool print. Why'd you fall off there? Just a moment. So then I was doing some other things, and I wasn't getting anything I wanted. So I put down some green paint. It's metallic green, and had a little bit left over of this meshy stuff on there, and put down these 2 stencils, and then I picked it up with the gold, and that's all I did this morning. So then, oh no, I did do one more thing after that. I got this one, and I love this. It looks like, reminds me of Van Gogh's Poppies, and when I put something on this, it's going to hopefully remind me even more of that. But it has a lot, you don't see the green at first, but the green is shiny. The red is not, but the red almost looks shiny because it's got all the green in behind it. But it's still got a little bit of the numbers you can see here that were on the side, and a little bit of this stuff here. So that was all I did this morning because it just wasn't acting right, and it was frustrating me. So I came back this afternoon, and this is what I got, because I decided I was going to try to make it look like a painted wall or something like that. Robyn McClendon does that a lot, and I really like her videos, so I'll show a link to her videos, well, at least her name, after this at the bottom in the comments on this. But what I did on this was to put down bits of paint and then spread them with a credit card. And then after I'd finished making the plate kind of all painted up, then I used the gold paint that you see in behind there to pick up all of that paint that I had scraped on there. And I really like the way this one turned out. It's got the gold in the background, but you've got all these fields of the white over the top of it, and then the brown in behind it. And I think it looks really good. I got excited about that and got a little carried away with this one with the colors here. But I still like the way this looks because you've got this white wash looking thing. And the thing that's neat about this, it looks so dimensional, but it's perfectly smooth. And again, I put the colors down and then picked them up with the Ultra Sheen Gold that's from Deco Arts, which I think is a really good paint for using as a background, because then it gets, you get the nice gold shimmer, plus you get it peeking through in any of the little places that there's a little bit of open area from, you know, the paints that didn't cover it entirely. So you get a really pretty print there. I was really happy with that. So I wanted to make something look kind of Asian or Chinese, and this is not successful at all. But this one is printed. Actually, when I had the plate, I didn't like what was on the plate, so I printed it over a print that I had already done. The print that I had already done had kind of a pink background and these blue blobs on it. So I think it improved the print that was there, but I'm still not really happy with it. When I first took it off the plate, it looked really good, but it doesn't look as good as it did then, so I may have to do more to it. But it's got possibilities. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. But then I took the rest of it up from there, and I'm happy with this one that I got. It does not look like Chinese things at all, because the red, of course, is a little bluer red than it should be. It should have a really crisp yellow red, more like I have in some of the other ones. But I'm happy with the way that this one looks, because I like the paint and how it looks like it's put on here. Then I did some, again, with the red and the greens and the blues, and I have, you can see these little pieces of red in here where I put the red on. Actually, I put the green on first, I believe, and then the blue, and so on. And when after I picked this one up, it had a weird little dot in the middle, so I fixed that by putting the red over the top. But you can still see the little weird dot in the middle, so I don't know. This one I like the edges of, but I'm not so sure about this red weird thing I put in the middle. So I'll probably use parts of that instead of the whole thing. This one I'm happy with, even though it's very odd. This one is like blues and purples and browns and greens, lots of different colors. It was a little too wet when I picked it up, and that's why you get all these smeary marks. But actually, I'm not too unhappy with that. I had the trellis pattern that you see here was already on this paper, and when I picked up the paints with it, then some of that showed through, and I'm happy that it showed through, because I think it adds to it, gives it more interest, and of course the gold, of course, helps too. And then after I did this one, then this was my last print of the day. I picked up what was left with some white, and if I'd picked it up with gold, it might have been more exciting, because of course we all love gold. But it's still kind of interesting, because it left, the trellis pattern was not, I didn't use a trellis stencil on the plate today. The trellis pattern was a result of using that other already printed print to pick it up, where the trellis was, you know, the lines where the trellis was on that, it kind of offset to the jelly plate. So that when I got this print with the white to pick it all up, then it had the trellis kind of in there too. And I like this one too. So that's all I did today, and if you're interested in how these are done, leave a comment. I'll try to do a process video on any one of them that you're interested in. If you like this stuff, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up. You know the stuff. Everybody asks for all that stuff. Anyway, I'm glad you spent a little time with me, and I hope you like my prints. I'm really enjoying my jelly plate, and I think you would too. Thank you. Bye-bye.